What's up, YouTube? You checking out the Frequent Flyer, and this is my quick review of the JJPro P130 battler. And that's it right there. And as you can see, mine's look a little different, and that's because I swapped the props out. These props here are Rotor X 3040 props, the smoky black ones. Shout out to Atom Bomb FPV for putting me onto these. And these things make this quad fly great. Now, as you can see, I did swap out the motors too. These are 1306 3100 kV motors, a little smaller than the stock ones. The stock motors that it came with are these 1806 motors, which are 2300 kV with the JJPro moniker on there. But these motors here seem to perform just as well as the motors that I swapped them out for. Especially with the stock props, it seems like they perform better with the stock props. I guess these are a little heavier than the Rotor X props. This quad in this form that I have it now, it flies really nice with those motors on it. But when I had these props on with those motors there, it didn't fly as well. And I'm guessing that these motors didn't have enough torque. Well, not as much as these motors here, the stock motors, to push these props here. And so the stock motors, it flies better with these props than with the smaller motors there. But those motors are awesome with these props right here. So I watch reviews too, and I saw a lot of reviews on this, and everybody was saying that this thing doesn't have a lot of punch in its stock form. And I found the same thing. This battery here that JJPro gave us, it's an 850 milliamp hour 3S battery 30C, and I think that this just isn't enough. It's not enough to power this thing. This thing seems like it's too power hungry to handle a 3S battery. It seems like it needs a 4S, even though they ask not to use a 4S with this. They say use just a 3S. But the 4S makes this thing fly as it seems like it's intended to fly. It flies really sluggish and slow, barely any punch out at all with the stock battery. But as soon as you put a 4S on here, I had a 1300 milliamp hour 4S battery on this thing, and that's pretty heavy for a copter this small. And this quad was lifting it with no problem. It was flying really nice with it because it was 4S. And so I went smaller with the 4S batteries, and it got even better. And so now this thing is just a really nice flying quad. And this is one of the batteries that I got. It's just a Makefire 850 milliamp hour 70C 4S battery, and it flies great with this thing. And so even without swapping the motors out, I actually think that this quad flies better with the motors that came stock on it, actually. And it could be because these 1306 motors that I have are pretty cheap, and you get what you pay for in this hobby. These are the cheap ones, DYS, and they're only 3100 kV, and they have 1306 motors that are 4000 kV, and those I think would really bring this quad to life. But a 4S pretty much brings this quad to life, and with the stock motors in a 4S and these props here, this thing has a very strong punch out, really decent flyer. And I don't recommend using the 3S battery at all. It does have a FPV system in it, and this is the EF01, I think it is. The EF01, I think it is, from Eachine. And it should have a better FPV system in here, but this is good enough for close flying, like flying in the area that I usually fly in. But flying at a large park or whatnot, I don't think that this is enough. It breaks up and a lot of static and everything when you fly it far out. But this is a really cheap option. I guess they went the cheap route with that. It is adjustable. You can adjust the angle to pitch it up and all. But the battery sits on the top of this quad, and so there's a problem with it hitting the antenna sometimes. So I imagine in the crash it would probably destroy this antenna here. But even just having it in there, it kind of pushes up against the antenna when you have it on, especially when you're trying to keep center gravity with the battery, trying to get the battery at center gravity. There, you're going to be pressing up against the antenna there from the FPV system. So that's one little negative I have with it, that the antenna is up here. Maybe a whip antenna would be better or something, or I don't know, maybe they should run the antenna back here and have it sticking out the back. I don't know. But it does get in the way with the battery. And it seems pretty durable, though. I have crashed it a little. I broke one of the props, one of the stock props. I didn't really crash it that hard when I broke the stock prop. It just I was kind of low to the ground, and I went into the ground like that, and it broke a prop. So pretty easy to break these props, I guess. They're pretty fragile. And this is the ready to fly version. So it came with this FlySky FS I6 transmitter. Pretty decent transmitter. I like it. It's I think this is a 8-channel transmitter. I think 8 channels might be the highest you can go with this. But pretty nice. It has 3 position switches and all. Well, it has one right here, 1 3-position switch, and all the rest are 2-position switches. But I think that's enough for this craft and for most craft. And you do have some knobs here that you can adjust. You can, I guess, if you had a craft with a gimbal on it or whatnot, you can use this to control the pitch of the gimbal and all. Those 2 channels there. So pretty nice. This transmitter is not bad at all. And the control range is pretty nice with it, with that transmitter. The FlySky protocol is pretty nice for range. And this quad, I really like that it has foam padding on the bottom of it, landing feet and all. Pretty nice setup there. It has the ESCs on the bottom. I believe this has 20 amp ESCs on it. And it does have lighting for night flying. I like that about it. It has red in the rear and blue in the front. Looks really nice. Looks like these bottom landing pads here glow because the lights are right in front of it, so it kind of reflects off it, it seems like, at night. And it's a really nice night flyer, so that's another thing that I like about it. And this battery strap that it comes with, not so good. It doesn't have a latch on it or whatnot to run the other end through. I don't like that. It's kind of hard tightening it. It's kind of hard trying to get the battery fastened to the quad tight. So I had to put this Velcro patch right here and put Velcro on the batteries there to try to get it to stay put there and not slide around a lot. Also, this top frame seems like it can break. It gets pretty loose after crashes, and I find myself having to tighten it. And that's about it. I think this is a pretty nice quad. Once you use a 4S battery, these 3S batteries that they're packing in with it really don't do it any justice. So I think if everybody flew it with 4S during their reviews, they would definitely tell you that the 4S flies this thing better. Some of them did. For the most part, I think it's a pretty nice flying quad. Now, it comes with an extra set of spare props. So all in all, you get 8 props. It comes with some installed. Well, actually, they're not installed. I think they're all in the package. There you have 8 props in there. And they give you one of those nice balance chargers here. The balance charger actually charges 2S and 3S batteries. But I guess it's not going to be that useful if you're going to go straight to 4S, because I do recommend flying this quad with 4S and not 3 or 2S, because you're not going to have any power, no punch out at all. This is the cord for the charger there. It comes with this pamphlet here. This actually tells you about the EF01, and it tells you about the transmitter. Where's that? Here tells you about the transmitter, and it comes with a bind key for your receiver and all. I never had to open it. It comes with some extra camera mounts there, and it comes with a CD. I'm not sure what this CD is for. I'm guessing it was for the transmitter. So this little mini CD comes with it. I have no idea what it's for. Well, actually, I just said I think it's for the transmitter, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But that's it. The JJPro P130 Battler. Pretty decent quad once you fly it with 4S. Thanks for watching.